You're at a used car lot looking at two SUVs. Both are 10 years old, both have 150,000 miles. One's priced at $8,000, the other $15,000. Same age, same mileage. Why the massive price difference? Because smart buyers know something the average person doesn't. Not all SUVs are created equal. Some are designed to last 3 years past warranty. Others, they're engineered to outlive your mortgage, your kids' college education, and possibly you. Today, we're cutting through the marketing nonsense and diving into 3 SUVs with track records so solid, so undeniable, that they've essentially become automotive legends. These aren't the flashiest vehicles on the road. They won't turn heads at the country club, but they will do something far more valuable. They'll still be running strong when everything around them has been scrapped for parts. We're talking about vehicles that treat 200,000 miles as a milestone, not a death sentence. SUVs that hold their value so stubbornly that used examples sell for prices that seem almost unreasonable until you understand why. These are the machines you buy once and forget about breakdowns entirely. So if you're tired of expensive repairs, if you're done playing roulette with unreliable vehicles, if you want an SUV that just works year after year after year, stick around, because what I'm about to share could save you tens of thousands of dollars and countless headaches. Let's dive in. SUV number 1, Toyota 4Runner, the immortal workhorse. Let's start with the Toyota 4Runner, and I need you to forget whatever preconceptions you have about this vehicle. Yes, it's old-fashioned, yes, the gas mileage makes environmentalists cry, and yes, the interior technology feels like it time-traveled from 2010. But here's what that outdated SUV will do. It'll outlast practically everything else on the road. The 4Runner is built on a philosophy that modern automakers have completely abandoned: body-on-frame construction. That means there's a thick steel ladder frame underneath, and the body bolts on top of it. It's old technology, it's heavy, it's inefficient, and it's absolutely bulletproof. That frame is constructed from steel so thick that rust, the killer of most vehicles, takes literal decades to cause structural damage. I've seen 4Runners from snowbelt states, places where they dump salt on roads like it's going out of style, and found frames that still look factory fresh after 15 years. Meanwhile, modern unibody crossovers from the same era are literally crumbling apart. Under that hood sits Toyota's legendary 4.0-liter V6, the 1GR-FE engine. And this motor has developed a reputation that borders on mythical. It's so conservatively tuned, so massively overbuilt, that it operates at maybe half its stress capacity during normal driving. Toyota didn't design this engine to make impressive power numbers. They designed it to run forever. The compression ratio is conservative, the valve train is simple and robust, the timing chain is industrial strength. Everything is built with safety margins so massive that normal use barely stresses the components. This engine was designed to survive the worst possible conditions: extreme heat, extreme cold, towing heavy loads, altitude changes, and owners who think maintenance is optional. The result? I've personally met 4Runner owners with over 300,000 miles on their original engines, not rebuilt, not overhauled, original. The valve covers might weep a little oil, the exhaust might sound slightly gruff, but that engine is still making full power and showing zero signs of giving up. It's remarkable. The transmission is equally impressive. That 5-speed automatic might seem primitive compared to modern transmissions with 8, 9, or 10 speeds, but here's the genius. Fewer gears means fewer failure points. Each gear is massively overbuilt, the torque converter is enormous, and the entire assembly is cooled like Toyota expected you to tow a mountain through Death Valley in August. Now let's talk about the 4-wheel drive system, because this is where the 4Runner shows its true DNA. This isn't some automatic all-wheel drive system that activates when sensors detect slip. This is a proper mechanical selectable 4-wheel drive descended directly from Land Cruiser engineering. You've got rear-wheel drive for normal conditions, 4-wheel drive high for slippery situations, and 4-wheel drive low when the world ends. The transfer case locks mechanically, the differentials are built like bank vaults, and the entire drivetrain can handle punishment that would destroy lesser vehicles. This system was designed for people who actually use 4-wheel drive in serious conditions, not for people who want an AWD badge for psychological comfort. Here's something fascinating. The 4Runner creates insane owner loyalty. People don't just buy these vehicles, they keep them for decades. I've met owners who've driven their 4Runners through conditions that would terrify most people. Unmaintained mountain passes, river crossings, remote desert trails where help is 100 miles away, and the vehicle just keeps delivering. The interior is definitely dated, the dashboard design is from another era, the infotainment system is basic, the plastics are hard, but after 12 years of ownership, when every single button still works, when the climate control never fails, when nothing rattles despite brutal off-road use, you stop caring about soft-touch materials. You start appreciating durability instead. The cargo space is massive, the rear seats fold flat, there's storage everywhere, and everything is designed with this no-nonsense robustness that means nothing squeaks, nothing breaks, and nothing feels cheap, even after driving through terrain that would shake lesser SUVs into pieces. Now the elephant in the room, fuel economy. The 4Runner averages maybe 17 miles per gallon if you drive carefully. It's not efficient, but here's the thing. People who buy 4Runners understand they're trading fuel economy for invincibility, and they make that trade gladly. The resale value is absolutely insane. The 4Runner has one of the flattest depreciation curves in the automotive world. 5-year-old examples regularly sell for 75 to 80% of their original price. Limited editions sometimes actually appreciate. The market understands what these vehicles represent: guaranteed reliability. When you buy a used 4Runner, you're not inheriting problems. You're buying a vehicle that's barely getting started. These SUVs don't have a peak mileage. They have a mileage number they casually ignore while continuing to deliver year after year after year.
Now let's shift gears and talk about the Honda CR-V. And I already know what you're thinking. That boring grocery getter? Really? Yes, really. Because while the CR-V might look like every other crossover in suburbia, underneath that vanilla exterior beats one of the most brilliantly engineered powertrains Honda has ever created. The CR-V doesn't just run reliably, it runs with such consistency, such predictability, that it borders on supernatural. I've documented cases of CR-Vs with 280,000 miles still running their original clutch packs, original wheel bearings, and original exhaust systems. That's not maintenance, that's engineering excellence. Under the hood, you'll find Honda's K-Series engine, and this motor represents everything Honda learned from decades of building high-revving race engines and applying that knowledge to everyday reliability. While competitors chase impressive horsepower numbers, Honda built an engine that operates comfortably below its stress limits during normal use. The compression ratios are conservative, the cooling system is over-engineered, the oil passages are designed with surgical precision. What does this mean in practice? After 200,000 miles, mechanics are still finding factory crosshatch patterns on cylinder walls. That's the pattern machined into the metal when the engine was built, still visible after 2 decades. The pistons simply aren't wearing the cylinders down because the engine never works hard enough to create excessive wear. But the transmission is where Honda really separated themselves from competitors. Whether you have the 5-speed automatic from earlier models or the CVT from newer ones, these gearboxes are engineered with almost paranoid attention to durability. Honda studied every transmission failure from every competitor, documented every weak point, and then built the CR-V's transmission to avoid all those problems. The fluid passages are massive for excellent cooling. The internal components are rated for torque loads far beyond what the engine produces, and the results speak for themselves. Transmission shops actually complain about CR-Vs because they almost never need service. It's bad for business, but amazing for owners. Honda's approach to all-wheel drive is brilliant in its simplicity. The real-time AWD system is refreshingly uncomplicated. There's no fancy multi-clutch setup requiring specialized diagnostic equipment, no complicated electronics that fail after warranty, just a simple hydraulic pump and rear differential that engages when needed. What fails on this system? Practically nothing. The fluid lasts seemingly forever. The pump is bulletproof. The entire assembly weighs less and costs less to maintain than competitors' electronic systems that become expensive paperweights after 80,000 miles. Here's something brilliant. Honda designed this vehicle assuming you're not a car enthusiast. Everything is accessible. Everything makes sense. Everything is built to survive neglect.
Pop the hood, and the air filter is right there, no tools needed. The oil dipstick is bright yellow and clearly labeled. The cabin air filter hides behind the glove box and takes literally 30 seconds to replace. Honda engineered the CR-V for people who view cars as appliances, and then they built it tough enough that even when those people forget maintenance and ignore warning lights, the vehicle refuses to die. It's automotive design at its most forgiving and practical. The interior quality punches well above its price point. The materials feel substantial. The controls are logically arranged. Everything is designed for long-term durability. Buttons don't go mushy after 5 years. Upholstery doesn't wear prematurely. The dashboard doesn't crack in harsh sunlight. Honda built this cabin to last. The cargo space is impressively flexible. The rear seats fold completely flat, there's clever storage throughout, and despite being a compact crossover, the CR-V can swallow a surprising amount of cargo without complaint. Resale value is where the CR-V really flexes. Check any used car market right now. 5-year-old CR-Vs with reasonable mileage still command 65 to 70% of their original price. Some special editions barely depreciate at all. Why? Because buyers understand they're not gambling, they're making a safe investment. Used CR-Vs sell like concert tickets because everyone knows the reputation. The CR-V won't thrill you with acceleration, it won't impress strangers at stoplights, but when your friends are on speed dial with their mechanics for the 3rd time this year, you'll be smiling at your oil change when the technician delivers those beautiful words. Everything looks perfect. See you in 6 months. So, if you want an SUV that treats 100,000 miles as a warm-up and 300,000 miles as hitting its stride, the CR-V isn't just smart, it's obvious. Your future self will thank you for this decision.